Hey guys, before I take you to today's content, I want you guys to take advantage of our Pro Web Legal Services Initiative that we have going on right now in the second quarter of 2024. What is that? Well, it's a website that you get 100% full-blown website with 1 year maintenance, comes with SSL certificate, hosting, etc., all for 50% less than the normal cost. This offer used to be $4,500. We're now giving it to you for $2,250, 100%, no strings attached. All you have to do is go to the show notes right now and click on the link where it says Pro Web Legal, and you'll get all the information. So until then, enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to Marketing Solutions for Local Law Firms, the podcast that provides you with all the latest digital marketing tools, tips, and strategies you will need to implement in order to stay ahead of your competition. If you are looking to substantially increase your caseload in the next 6 months, this is the podcast for you. And now, here's the host of our show, the local business guy himself, Frank Deming.
Hello, everyone. This is Frank Deming, the local business guy. Welcome to another episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Law Firms. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day, everyone. I hope you guys are having a rockin' week thus far. Today, I want to talk to you about websites. As you know, since the beginning of this quarter, of the second quarter of 2024, I've been promoting my Pro Web initiative. Basically, Pro Web is, I know you've heard it umpteen times, but I'll let you know again. We're promoting a website, basically half off for any website that you're looking for, as long as it goes under the essentials of what we're promoting. You can get all of those features half off of what we normally do. Now, the reason why we do this is because websites are definitely essential for your law firm. Website design, I should say, is definitely essential for your website. And when I'm talking about for your law firm, when I'm talking about design, I am not talking about how pretty it looks. Design goes further, right, than just how it looks. It actually goes into use and what the user experience is. And all of these things are very, very important. And I have a lot to cover today, so I'm going to get right to it. But I'm going to give you some essentials. I don't want to make this too long. I was thinking about giving you 5, but then 5 was going to give you just going to leave you dangling. You're like, okay, Frank, I got it, but I didn't learn anything. And I thought, maybe 20 would be too much. So I cut it off at 10. I think 10 will give you enough information about what you need to design a successful law firm, the successful website for your law firm. So anyway, let's hop to it. You guys already know me, Frank Deming, the local business guy, and in Local Business Marketing Solutions, we help local law firms, meaning personal injury firms, estate planning firms, family law firms, tax law firms, real estate law, etc., etc. We help them grow their business using digital marketing. But the important thing about that, to start everything up, it really starts with the website, because what we've noticed too over the years of doing digital marketing is that aesthetics matter, ease of use matter, and if someone goes to your website and they're not impressed, they're going to go somewhere else, especially if they found you. It's a difference between someone finding you or someone being you recommended by someone. So if someone says, "Hey, Joe, you got to go see, XYZ attorney because they do good work. They're going to look you up. They're going to see your website. They're probably not going to be impressed by your website if you don't have an impressive website, that is. But they're going to call you anyway because that was a referral. I'm not talking about that person. I'm talking about the person who does not know you, types in a few keywords, sees your website. The best thing that you want to do to convert that person is impress them on how your website looks and how it functions. Not just how it looks, how it functions. Same way with your office. If you have an office that's cluttered with paper and is dirty and then when you walk in, it doesn't even function properly, you don't know where to start, there's no ticket to take, or there's no person at the reception to find out, hey, I'm looking for, XYZ person to help with my estate plan. If you don't have an easy way of a person navigating through your building or through your office, and it looks terrible, they're probably going to walk away, especially if they're a cold person coming in off the street, right? If they're a referral, maybe they'll walk away too. Who knows from that standpoint. But anyway, so that's what we're talking about here, but we're talking about it from a digital perspective, specifically your web design. So I'm going to give you the 10 topics we're going to talk about. We're going to briefly go through it. Again, it's a lot of content that I'm going to read, so I'm going to go a little fast. Always, I can be reached at 888-416-7752 if you have any questions about what we're talking about in today's episode or any other episode for that matter. Or send us an email at info@lbmsllc.com. And we will definitely set you up with a consultation call or discovery call and answer any questions that you may have about any topics that we talk about on the show. Before I get to the content, also I want to remind you, if you like the show and you loving what you're getting from the show, share it with some of your colleagues, your fellow attorneys that hey, this guy gives out good stuff. You may want to subscribe to, whether you're an Apple Podcast, Spotify, you name it, whatever your platform of choice is where you listen to this, send them the link, and so that way they can get notified of whenever I put out a new episode, which is primarily every Wednesday. All right, there we go. I got all of the housekeeping out of the way, so let's move forward. So here are the 10 essentials that we're going to be talking about today in terms of design for your law firm. Number 1, user-friendly design. Number 2, attorney bios. Number 3, define practice area pages. 4 is clear calls to actions. 5 is chat widgets. 6 is content strategy. 7 is testimonials and reviews. 8, SEO optimization. 9, security and privacy. And 10, we're going to be talking about analytics and performance tracking. All right, so let's dive in. User-friendly design. This is the reason I put this at number 1 is because it goes back to what we were talking about earlier when I first started the episode. That first impression is so key for a user that's landing on your website, someone who is looking for your services. You have to have easy navigation, and you have to have some sort of a way that you're prioritizing, client need. So what that means is you have to make sure that the whole section, when you're navigating, it's talking about client need, not so much how great your firm is. That person that landed on your website doesn't care how long you've been practicing. They probably will before they make that determination of hiring you or not, or retaining you or not. But I've seen too many websites out there that talk so much about how long they've been in practice that it's actually killing them from digital perspective, because I'm talking about, again, someone that doesn't know who you are as an attorney, someone who doesn't even know that you existed until they made a search and found you. So let's diminish the privatization of yourself and navigate the privatization to client need. Talk about how you help that person that just landed there. You're going to have your expertise later on in the navigation. Okay. Let's really enhance, and because one of the things that we do when we design websites for clients is we consider mobile design more than desktop design. I'm not saying that we don't look at the desktop design, but we consider it more on the mobile design because the user friendliness in mobile is so important right now, because most of the traffic that we're seeing are coming from mobile devices, mainly your mobile phone. So if you have a great desktop navigation, but your navigation on the mobile design, it's almost as if you don't have good navigation. So it's almost as if your first topic, which we're talking about user-friendly design, is not satisfied. Okay, so make sure it's easy to find, has user appeal, has automatic adjustments based on screen size. That's very important. You don't want people stretching your screen. You have to have accessibility to the menu. Sometimes if people are looking for those little burger icons, it's not good. It's not good. That means you don't have a friendly design. You're not pointing people to the directions where you need to be. Okay. You have to have great visual elements. You have to include what I mean by great visual elements is make sure that your choice of colors really, really blend in with each other. I wish I could show you some terrible website designs that I've seen that the colors really don't match. I'm like, why would you mix that color with that color? It's kind of weird. But all of this stuff helps. All right. Imagery has to be clear. Graphics, everything clear, sharp. Do not I personally prefer your imagery. If you can get a professional photographer to actually go into your office and shoot pictures of your team, yourself, maybe you guys working on a case, maybe you guys talking to a potential client and all that stuff, instead of buying the images, that's even better. Now, if you don't have the time to do all of that or the money to hire a photographer and all that, then get, stock photos, but make sure they're sharp. Get the higher resolution, and then upload it to your website, because it's very, very, very important to do that. And that's about it on the actual user friendliness. Okay, user friendly design. Number 2, attorney bios. Let's talk about this. Let's spend some time on this. Now, in attorney bios, here's where you want to really talk about yourself and your expertise per attorney. I mean, you can have it general about the firm, but if you have more than one attorney, obviously you may want to highlight your expertise here. This is where you get to do it. Don't do it on the home page. Don't do it on the about page. The home page has to be about your visitor. The about page, I know it sounds funny, but you have to spin it in a way that it's about the visitor. Oddly enough. And when people outsource the writing to us, that's how we write the about us. So, and it's a little trick to do it. So again, call us. We'll give you some tips on how to do that. But attorney bios is important on a website. Most of you guys are getting it right. So kudos to you. It's been years since I've seen a website that doesn't have one of these. But I did come across one not too long ago, and I wanted it. It was so fun. I'm like, wow, you don't even have an attorney bios page. And in the attorney bios page, you want to talk about your achievements. You want to talk about, you want to use jargon-free language. Here's what I mean. You don't want to be too legalese, okay? You want to be concise. You want to talk about things that someone like myself would understand, because again, a lot of you guys are getting this right in terms of the attorney bios, having it at least. However, I do see a lot of legal jargon on there that people are like, okay, I don't understand what this guy's talking about. So you got to, you got to chill with that stuff. You want to be very transparent in your attorney bios. You want to be personal on it. Give a little personal. I saw this website. It was really, really cool. The guy talked about his golfing love for golfing. I saw another one where a guy, actually he was on this show. The guy he's a farmer kind of stuff, and he learned farming. He was part of the Meet the Attorney thing, and I saw it on his website too. So that's the kind of thing that you want. Now these guys are crushing it online, and I don't think it's a mistake. They're crushing it online because they're being personal. They're not using a lot of legal jargon. They're talking about their achievements. And if you look at their websites, they talk more about what the need of the public is, more so than themselves. All right. Number 3 is you want to define practice area pages. Here's what I mean by that. Before online marketing became so popular for attorneys, you could actually get away with a page that says practice areas and just have little bullet points of the practice area that you have. So let's say, general counsel, you talk about estate planning, you do, probate, you do divorce, you do, general stuff, right? You don't want to have that all in one page. Yeah, you probably have a general practice page that talks about what you generally do. But then each individual practice area should have its own page. That's what's getting the most traction, especially if you are one of those firms. Now, if you're, and all firms for that matter. So, for instance, if you're personal injury, within personal injury, you have a ton of stuff. You got car accidents, truck accidents, medical malpractice. You got slip and falls. You got dog bites, et cetera, et cetera. The list goes on. If you're family law, you've got divorce. You've got child custody. You've got mediation. You've got a plethora of other things that you want to have separate pages for, because specificity in marketing is key. If you just have one page that describes it, and then you have people, and then people click on a button that has something, and there's no information, or it just takes you to a contact us page for more information. You're not giving them the best user experience. Okay, so this is very, very key. You gotta have separate practice pages that clearly defines your expertise in that particular practice area. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Number 4, clear call to actions. Clear calls to actions. When someone, especially if you're doing pay-per-click, if you're doing SEO, okay, well, you're still spending money to get this guy there or this girl there. But if you're doing pay-per-click, you definitely are spending a lot of money, right? So make sure your call to actions are clear. What do you want them to do? I'm going to give you some examples of the calls to actions that I like to see on legal pages that not only that I like to see, that are working tremendously well on all of the websites that we manage for our clients. Okay. But the clear thing is what I want to talk to you about. You want to have clear ones, but I'm going to give you some examples. Number 1, schedule a free consultation. That's a no-brainer, right? That's a very clear call to action. It's going to encourage a direct engagement with your potential clients, right? Number 2, learn more about our practice areas, right? You want to guide. Sometimes you want to. That's another great way of maybe on your homepage you have this, and it guides visitors to a detailed service description. You know what I'm saying? So that's a really cool, clear call to action. Number 3, you want to, another good call to action will be like download our legal guide, right? So sometimes especially if you're a general practitioner, you want to offer somebody a valuable resource that they can capture and get some information about, your firm, or maybe it's a legal guide of whatever you're practicing. Like, I don't know, if you're suing a company for breach of contract or something, maybe you have a legal guide on that. I don't know what that is, but whatever it is, that's a really cool call to action that's working tremendously well on a lot of websites that we manage. Another good one is number 4 is contact us for a case evaluation. Okay. So a lot of forums that we manage is that what they do is, if you're working with an attorney already and you're not really getting what you feel is worth it, a good call to action to have on your page, if one of your superpowers, if you will, is fixing cases that are going wrong, you want to have you may want to have a call to action like this: contact us for a case evaluation. You're going to provide like a straightforward way for the client to initiate a legal inquiry, and that's a good way of doing it, because you are professing that you can fix cases that are going wrong. Okay. They'll give them the incentive to continue. Another one is subscribe to our newsletter. A lot of people sleep on this one, right? But newsletters actually keeps especially if you're like in an IP law, if you're in one of those types of practices, which is very informational, you want to stay top of mind of your visitor. So a good thing is your newsletter. Another good call to action is you want to send them to your social proof. So read out client testimonials. That's a really cool call to action to have. And all 6 of these are working very, very well for all our customers, for all our people that we're managing. Okay. Number 5, chat widgets and contact forms. Very, very, very important. You want to have live chat widgets. I think it because as the demographic gets that you're attracting, it really depends on the demographic that you attract. So let me go with that. So, but as the millennials and the Gen Zers get older, that's how they used to communicate anyway. They a lot of these people don't pick up the phone and call someone. They don't do that. A lot of them, so they prefer to contact forms. They prefer to chat widgets because they want to get a quick answer to a quick question. So you want to have that in there so you can capture that as these people become more and more prominent in the workplace. Those are going to become your clients, and that's how they communicate, with chat widgets. So don't sleep on the chat widgets. It's a really cool thing. We actually have a partnership with a chat widget that we always talk to our attorneys about. It's called Integer. If you want to know more about it, what I'll do is I'll drop a link of how we work with that. That I think you should take a look at for sure. But it's really, really, really. What I'll do is I'll drop a link where you can get a demo of it. And so if you don't have a chat widget right now, or if you're not happy with a chat widget that you're using right now and you don't see a value in it, definitely you want to schedule a demo of that. Just go to the show notes and click on the link where it says Integer, Integer, demo, and it will take you to that demo where you can schedule it. But definitely a chat widget is very important for your web design these days because of what the stuff we talked about before. Number 6, and I know I'm going fast. I just don't want this to be very long, guys. So I apologize. But again, reach out to us, 888-416-7752. We'll answer any questions there. Number 6, content strategy. Blogs and articles. You got to have blogs and articles now. Blogs are not dead. We talked about this with a gentleman who, by the way, manages a $10 million a year digital marketing agency, and he's all about blogs. Now he caters to the higher end law firm and everything like that. But still, my point is, if they're doing it, the higher law firms, you should be doing it as well. You don't have to do it to that scale, but you should be doing it as well. But you do have blog and articles in there. Topics to talk about. You want to talk about legal guides and common issues. You want to talk about case law updates. You want to talk about frequently asked questions in practice areas, practice area divorce, practice area XYZ, whatever. You want to talk about client success stories on your blog. You want to talk about legal tips and advice on your blog. You want to talk about industry-specific legal analysis on your blogs. These things actually draw attention. Of course, that comes with keyword research and all that stuff, but I'm just spitfiring some information of what you should be discussing, because I get this question a lot. Frank, you talk about blogs, but you don't actually talk about what we should talk about. There you go. I just answered your question. Those are just some advices that we've seen work for all our customers. You should be considering it. If you're having trouble with it, again, just reach out to us and we will definitely check it out for you. Number 7, testimonials and reviews. You want to have testimonials and reviews on your website, but the thing that you want to do is you want to, if you can, you want to also link it to the actual reviews that's online, so people know that that's the same review that's on your BBB page, Better Business Bureau, or your Avvo page, or whatever reviews that you're getting. You want to make sure it's linked to it, okay? But you want to have it on your website, because remember, these people don't know you. I want to emphasize that. The people who are coming to you, they don't know you. This was not a referral. So always think about that. When you're doing web design, think of it from a person who's coming cold. Doesn't know you from Adam. Okay? Okay.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hey guys, I hope you guys are enjoying today's content. While I have you on here, I want to introduce you to a promo that we have going on for the spring of 2024 for all legal practices throughout the U.S. I have an outstanding offer that we've never been able to offer before, but we want to do it because you have been an avid listener. We're only promoting this to people who listen to the show. So if you're an attorney and you are an avid listener to the show and you're thinking about possibly opening your own practice, you want to pay attention to this announcement. We are offering a full website with hosting, SSL certificate, online booking service, online appointment management, and more, and much, much more, with a 1-year maintenance, all for $2,250. That's $2,250 one-time fee, and you have a full-fledged website. If you want to know more about this, just give us a call at 888-416-7752, or send us an email at info@lbmsllc.com. Just make sure that you mentioned that you heard it on the show, and we'll definitely get you that discount. So with that, I'm going to bring you back to the content. So along with that, we're talking about number 8, which is SEO optimization. You want to have high quality content on your website. You don't want to talk about junk. In other words, you don't want to take, ChatGPT or any of these other AI generators now. There's a gazillion of them now, or Gemini. You don't want to take their suggestion and then slap it on your website. You want to have high quality content. In other words, you want to make sure that it is going to resonate with the people that you are looking to attract. You want to do your keyword research for SEO optimization. What are people typing out there that is helping them find you? Your on-page optimization, you have to have your your tag, your meta descriptions, and your meta tags, and your headers, and all that stuff on point with your keyword research. Of course, mobile friendliness. We talked about it. That's part of SEO optimization. Site speed is so key to SEO. I cannot. I can have a whole episode on site speed alone. That's how important that is to SEO. And of course, last but not least, and I think you guys all know this, you have to have your HTTPS secure site for sure for SEO optimization. If you don't have any of those things, it's not going to happen. It's not, you're not optimized. Okay. 9 is talking about HTTPS. It's security and privacy features. You want to avoid legal ramifications, okay? Data breaches and all that kind of stuff. You want to maintain client trust. And the way you maintain client trust is by making sure that that they understand that sensitive information in your website reinforces that trust. You know, any sensitive information that you have, like there's nothing that, let's say you're asking for, personal information through your chat bot. Is it secure data? It should be, and you should have all kinds of signs that's saying that those ads are being protected. Okay, so that's very, very, very important. And you would think a lot of attorneys know that, but I actually ran into a few of them. That's why I wanted to put it down on this list. I ran into a few of them that did not have it, and I was shocked. I was really shocked. I'm not going to say who it was, obviously. So, I mean, things like SSL certificates, you want to regularly update your website and maintenance. Now, let me talk about this a little bit, because a lot of people say, "Oh, I built my website. Why do I have to pay for maintenance?" I've gotten this a couple of times, because sometimes there are things that become vulnerable. So let's say you have a secure plugin, and that secure plugin was great, but then it had a breach or something, a data breach. So they have to update that breach so that way you continues the security of your website. So you got to keep that maintained. Maintenance. You think of maintenance like insurance, like when you pay car insurance or you pay life insurance or whatever. You're gonna need it because there's gonna come a time where if you were not taking care of it, you're not maintaining it, that's when the cost of that is worse than what it is to maintain your website. You got to have strong password policies for the back end of your website. And, that's another whole section. But I've seen people who have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as their password to get into their admin panel. Not good. You got to have data encryption stuff. Also, you have to, I mean, this goes without saying, but have a backup and recovery plan for your website. If you don't have that, I mean, it could be gone like today, and then you can't recover. And that's about it for that. Last but not least, let's talk about analytics and performance tracking. All right, now we get into the geeky stuff. Now you're getting into Frankie D's world. I love, if you gotta have this for your design. I don't understand how you build a website and you don't put analytics and performance tracking behind it to see it. My whole mantra is you got to put your website on the payroll. In other words, make the website work for you. You spent, I don't know, $2,500. Let's say you spent $3,000 on a website. Maybe more. I've seen websites that are up into the $15,000, $20,000 range. But let's just keep it low. $2,500 to $3,000 you spend on this website. Put it on the payroll. Get heat maps on there. Get conversion tracking software on there. Google Analytics is one that I like, but make sure you configure the Google Analytics to track conversions. Don't just slap on the code there and do nothing with the analytics, right? You want to have SEO ranking tracking on there just to see how well your rankings are going. Page load time tracking. I already mentioned heat maps. You want maybe even a user feedback tracking on there. How often are the people who are visiting coming back? You know what I'm saying? So all of these things are essential for today's websites for your law firm. And again, these are I consider them design issues, because when we sit down and design a website, we don't just sit down and design it from a color perspective. We sit down and design it from a user experience perspective. And that is what is going to make the difference between someone going into your website and clicking off, or someone going into the website and experiencing the best that you have to offer and actually picking up the phone and calling you, filling out a form, or taking some sort of call to action. Anyway, that's it for today's episode, folks. As I said, I had a lot to cover. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And more importantly, I hope you guys take action on some of this stuff. This is 2024, and we are already in the second quarter of 2024. So let's take action on some of this stuff. Take us up on that offer, half off. You do all of the stuff we talked about today for half of the cost of what it would have cost you before, because we also have an online booking engine and all that, but I don't want to go into all of that. Give us a call, 888-416-7752, and we'll definitely take care of you. All right, with that, guys, I hope you guys nothing but the best. Take care until next week. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Law Firms, the podcast that provides you with all the latest digital marketing tools, tips, and strategies you will need to implement in order to stay ahead of your competition. If you would like to know more about the topic we discussed on the show today, reach out to Frank and his team at 888-416-7752 and schedule a discovery call with one of the marketing consultants. If you'd like to be a guest on our show, send an email to podcast@lbmsllc.com and we will put you on the schedule. With that being said, until next week, make it a successful digital marketing day. Peace out.